Welcome to a special review of Juni Taisen Zodiac War, a new manga being simul-published by Viz Media, running in Japan on Jump Plus. This is releasing every week, every Saturday, to coincide with the new anime adaptation of Juni Taisen, which is airing this season on Tuesdays, and you can catch that on Crunchyroll.
Yup.
So, what's interesting about the series and what'll give it buzz is that the original novel that this manga and anime series is based on is written by NisiOisiN, the writer of the Monogatari series.
Monogatari, Medaka Box.
Yes.
Bunch of different stuff, yeah.
Medaka Box was drawn by Akira Akatsuki, who is also drawing the adaptation of this series as well, this manga.
Which is very fitting.
Yes, so NisiOisiN and Akira Akatsuki are teaming up again with this manga. And the character designs for the novel were drawn by Hikaru Nakamura, who was the artist behind Arakawa, Under the Bridge, and Saint Young Men.
Why can't we get Saint Young Men in the U.S.?
I'm not sure.
Please come to that show, please.
Religious things. Maybe the depiction of Christ and Buddha hanging out would set people off.
I guess it's time to go to Amazon France.
Maybe. Well, anyway, you are really excited for Juni Taisen. I originally was not that interested because I don't really have a firm reference for NisiOisiN.
That's because you haven't watched or read the masterpiece that is Monogatari.
No. I mean, I have checked out Medaka Box. I watched, the first season and a half of the second one. I read random parts of the manga. I read, the entire final arc of the manga.
I thought you read the entire manga.
No, I've read, everything the first season of the anime covered in the manga, and then I read, the final arc of the manga while it was still running, because, after I watched the anime, I just skipped to where the manga was and it was in the final arc. Everything in the middle, I just have not seen.
I always assumed that you had read the entire thing.
No. Which I should, because it's one of Maxie Bernard, our good friend who hosts Friendship Up for Victory, his favorite manga, and there are characters in it that I'm really interested in exploring more in their, original arcs. Misogi Kumagawa, the guy who fights with nails, he's awesome, and I want to see, his introduction arc. And then there's, this other character whose name I can't remember, but the way Maxie described it in his review of Medaka Box, she sounded really interesting.
Yeah, Medaka Box is something I definitely want to get to at some point.
It's a shame that was never licensed by Viz Media.
Yeah, I was hoping for that to get licensed at some point, or, the series that he and Akatsuki were doing in Jump Square for a while, Shonen Shoujo. But I guess that series wasn't doing too well because it got canceled after 3 volumes.
Yeah, but it looks like third time's the charm, because finally a NisiOisiN and Akira Akatsuki joint has been picked up and licensed by Viz.
Yup, it just had to come to the holy ground of Jump Plus.
That and it had a tie-in anime adaptation.
Yeah, that probably helped.
It's cross-marketing synergy going on here.
Yay, synergy.
That's the strategy, and, if it means getting more cool simul-pubs and interesting titles, I'm all for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know that Viz is also releasing the novel soon, so...
Yeah, October 10th. And I'm definitely interested in reading the novel, because they included the first 2 chapters in the most recent Shonen Jump, and I read through those, and I thought it was interesting. That's what convinced me to also try and read the manga.
Oh.
Because I liked reading the novel excerpts that they...
Wait, so in the newest issue of Jump, there's novel excerpts from the...
Yes, the September 25th issue, for reference.
Oh, I was so busy this week, I still haven't even looked at the Jump issue.
Yeah.
Oh.
And there are interesting differences between the novel and the manga that I am interested in discussing with you. But to start off with the premise of Juni Taisen Zodiac War, there are 12 characters. Each of them represents an animal of the zodiac, And they're all fighting each other to the death as part of this ritual. And the winner of the ritual gets one wish of whatever they want. So it's basically NisiOisiN's take on the fate concept.
Pretty much.
It's pretty transparently that. I think that's why everyone is pushing this so hard as the anime to look out for the season. Because Fate is super popular, so NisiOisiN version of Fate, that has to be popular, right?
I guess so. I mean, like, I think even, like, a while back they said, like, this anime that's coming out, it's, like, the first season of several they want to make up for this, so it's, like...
Several? I think they want to build this up as, like, a, like, franchise. Another Fate franchise. I mean, with the kind of premise, the fact that this takes place every so number of years with new fighters representing the animals, that's, like, exactly the same as Fate. Like, every couple of years, new servants are summoned to fight in another Grail War. The Zodiac War is held once every 12 years, so that means even more of a crossover between characters who participated in previous conflicts to show up in future ones or whatnot, so...
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why they're trying to, do their own fate, have NisiOisiN, like, be, like, the name that sells it up to people. And, like, yeah, because Fate is, like, an insanely popular franchise. Of course, everyone wants to cash in on that phenomenon with a similar thing. Yeah, and it's pretty much not that different from... I mean, okay, so there are 12 characters representing the 12 Zodiac animals. But there's no, like, master-servant relationship. There's, like, no one summons them or anything. It's just that they are, like, all members of families or, like, clans that, pass down the title of whatever animal they embody between generations or new successors.
Yeah.
Because there has to be a new successor for most of them every 12 years. Because the previous, it's a fight to the death, so...
Only one of the people is gonna survive, so...
Yeah. So, basically... It's kind of like Fate, but it doesn't have that master-servant relationship. It's also not really that... It doesn't have the strategic aspect of, like, all the characters are, like, kind of out in their own places, and they slowly congregate, fight, and then retreat, and all that.
It's more like pretty much in this first chapter, they're all meeting, discussing the rules, and then the fight just begins.
The fight immediately begins with all of them in the same area, and it's like a battle royale in one place, and it takes place over the course of however long it takes, but it's not
it's like 48 hours.
Okay, so 2 days. So there is actually a time limit to this, too. So that's another thing that distinguishes it from Fate.
I'm trying to check the exact time. I'm pretty sure it's, like, either 24 or 48 hours. Because, like, in this chapter, they have them ingest this, like, gem that, like, contains a poison, and the poison will dissolve during that time.
Yeah.
And the overall goal, to win this Zodiac War, you have to get the gems from the other, like, Zodiacs. Yeah. So you pretty much rip them out of their bodies.
Yeah, and the headmaster of the tournament, like the guy who's like organizing it, he demonstrates this when like the fighter of the sheep, asks like, how do we get the gems out? He like suggests, and he shows it by slitting his own stomach and taking out one of the like things himself that was in his stomach. So it's like, wow, okay.
And then he just like disintegrates.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I think he is like some mystical...
He's probably still alive. He's just showing off.
As far as how these jewels are designed, though, this is one difference between the novel and manga that I find really strange. In the novel, they're just like these round pearl-like orbs, so it makes sense how you could swallow them. But in the manga, they're these weird, like, jaggedly designed diamond things.
They look like crystal shards or something.
Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to swallow these without it getting stuck in your throat. I mean, they swallow it with, like, the smooth side down. So, it goes down that way. But, like, still, it has these jagged things on the side. Are they, like, soft? I don't think they're supposed to be soft.
I don't think they're soft. I think they're just used to swallowing big, sharp objects, maybe?
See, that is one thing that just didn't make sense. Because in the novel, it makes sense. They're like small, round pearl things.
So then you just like swallow it like.
I don't know why I don't know why they changed it to like weird jagged diamond things.
Maybe Akatsuki just really likes weird jagged diamond things.
I guess it looks cooler to swallow weird jagged things. I don't know. It makes less sense though, and that's one thing that I have to criticize between the novel and manga, is that there are some things that do not make as much sense in this manga. But I want to first get your thoughts on this first chapter overall, because you only read this chapter of the manga, and you were the most excited for this because you love NisiOisiN's work so much.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a good first chapter. It introduced, like, the whole premise and all, like, the different characters, and they all have, like, their little different, like, quirks and stuff. Like, the bunny guy's just complete psycho, and then, like, you have, the monkey, I think is, like, the monkey Zodiac's, like, trying to create, like, a separate faction that will just work together to get all, like, the diamonds out of their bodies and then just revive them all. So yeah, there's like a bunch of like different like plot lines like running through here. It's just like a very interesting like premise right now. It impressed me.
Okay, one thing I do like about the bunny guy is that it's not what you'd expect from like a humanized version of a bunny character. Normally, when you depict a bunny character, it's very stereotypical bunny girl based on Playboy bunny like stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
And here we have like the male bunny costume archetype. But, you know, he's so wild and, like, crazy. It's, like, a really dangerous character. He's probably the most dangerous and, like, frightening character design of the bunch. When normally when you associate bunnies, you associate them with, like, innocent, like, cutesy kind of design. So that was, like, very interesting to me.
Yeah, like, the first time I saw a key visual for the Juni Taisen anime, it was the bunny guy. Like, they were promoting it with the bunny guy. I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
I think the bunny guy is definitely supposed to be, like, the mascot character, because even on Viz's site, when you go to the tab for Zodiac
he's the icon,
He's the icon.
Yeah.
So I think he's supposed to be the iconic character design for the series.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has like a cool character design, and that his face is just like...
Yeah, he has like classic black eyes with yellow pupils. He has like crazy white hair. He's like completely shirtless, but there's like scars all over his body.
It's like one of those totally like crazy faces that you see in like Tokyo Ghoul or something.
All of his like muscles and his curves are all jagged, all sharp.
Yeah.
So everything, and his ears too, they're like black with like red interiors and sides.
Mm-hmm.
So everything about him screams like, okay, this is like something mad. This is like a character design out of Soul Eater or something.
Yeah, definitely.
The only other character who like has a big contrast to how, you know, you would normally associate the animal is the boar character, Ino no Shishi. You don't usually associate boars with a character that, like, wants to exude elegance and, like, dignity. So that's an interesting design choice as well. And I love her, like, earrings that, like, simulate boar tusks. That's really cool. And the color design of her costume, which has red and white and black in it, also, like, colors you'd associate with boar, is really cool. As is her hairstyle. So, you know, has a pretty interesting design. I think one thing that's most interesting about all the characters' designs is that they're very distinct.
Yeah.
I mean, they each, like, embody their animal in their own way. I think the only one that doesn't look really that interesting to me, I mean, the dog guy is just like some dog guy. So he's not that interesting. The tiger girl is also pretty stereotypical.
The tiger girl reminds me of like a Makoto from Blaze Blue.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think you're familiar with that character, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've seen you play that game and that character shows up.
It's the one that does like all like the crazy punches.
She the squirrel girl?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I know her. I mean, these character designs would not be out of place in Blaze Blue. The horse guy has, of course, like a horse-like face. Another interesting design is the sheep. Again, the sheep is a very docile animal, but here it's personified as, like, this old man who, is this dangerous tactician. So, unassuming like a sheep, but, like, more dangerous. So, very interesting. And the most boring design to me is the rat who has, like, weird rat ears, I guess.
The rat guy's the guy with, like, the long sword, right? Like, the rapier?
I don't know. I don't think so. He has, like, weird knighty armor, I guess, and he has, like, these, headpiece ear things. He's just the most basic design.
So it's this guy?
No, that's the ox.
Okay,
See,
which
you can
one?
tell that's the ox because he
yeah, he has horns. So which one's the...
He's the...
that guy right there.
Yeah, and the worst thing about that guy is that I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be, like, the actual main character, or, like, the best guy, because, they keep, like, saying, he's sleeping at the beginning. He almost missed it, but the monkey girl wakes him up. But, she noticed, I might feel like I've seen him before. I guess not. His behavior doesn't suggest that he's actually... It's, like, so obvious setup for this, like, perfect light novel-y protagonist.
I kind of assumed the ox was the main character, because, like...
No, the ox is just... He strikes me as, like, the more honorable-bound, stoic side character, I guess. Not stoic, but, like, he's honor-bound. He's, like, a supporting rival character, but he doesn't strike me as a main character. I like his design and, like, the matador costume. That's a pretty obvious thing to go with, but it works as a good design. I like how I don't know if it's his hair or he's wearing, like, a, headpiece or something, but I do like the horns.
I have no idea. It blends in really well with his hair at the very least.
Like, aside from the dog guy, who, I think might be a literal dog guy, everyone else is who has, like, ears or whatever, are just, like, wearing headpieces.
Yeah.
That, like, simulate the ears, or, like, look like that in some way. But the dog guy literally has, like, a face like a dog, so I think he might be some sort of chimera or mutant or something.
Or he just has really good makeup artists.
Yeah. Anyway, the character designs in this are all really unique and cool, except for the rat, who I don't really care about. But, yeah, I think that's probably going to be, like, its biggest strength in terms of selling it to the wider audience, and also trying to, like, make this a franchise, because, like, what was, like, so popular about Fate was characters like Saber. These really iconic designs that were super marketable and everyone wanted to buy merchandise of. So, like, I can definitely see people wanting to buy merchandise of some of these characters. I definitely think it's an interesting choice to use the rabbit character to, like, be basically the saber of the series as, like, the icon of the series. But I think it's a wise decision because it's the most unique design that, like, everyone is going to be interested in.
Yeah, it catches your eye. Like, if you aren't aware of, like, NisiOisiN or, like, anything about it, like, if you just see, like, his design, you're like, what the heck is this? Maybe I should, like, check it out.
Yeah, if, like, the rat was the design, who cares? Like, I'm totally expecting him to be, like, the actual main character and, like, be this super perfect, awesome guy. But, again, he's like Shiro. You don't want to market your series with Shiro because no one cares about that character design.
But people die when they're killed, Sid. Just because
this isn't even about the character.
Just because you're wrong doesn't mean you're correct. This isn't even about the character.
It's just about the character design. No one markets Yurusei Yatsura with Ataru. They market it with Lum. That's the interesting design. That's the same thing with Zodiac War. You market it with the bunny guy because he's the most interesting guy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In terms of actual characterization, we don't get a whole lot out of this first chapter, except
it was
for
pretty basic.
Monkey and Boar.
Yeah, even with Monkey and Boar, it was pretty just, like, simple stuff. Just, like, they wanted, like, to do, like, utilitarian, like, idea of just, like, helping the most people.
Monkey is interested in, like, having the entire fight go without anyone needing to die. Yeah. She's, like, this optimistic person. She's, like, very cheerful and kind of cheeky. And so she just is very trusting, too, because she doesn't suspect Bunny Guy of having any ulterior motives when he raises his hand.
Yeah, he's just a normal guy. But yeah, I mean, like, Monkey's like that. But yeah, Boar just wants to, like, kill people.
Yeah, well, I mean, we get more to that. We see, like, why Boris the way she is, because she had a really abusive father who, like, beat the heck out of her
and then
to make her the best, and she had a really doting mother who, like, put all this pressure on her to look, like, elegant, so she, like, adopted the ways to satisfy them both in terms of handling herself with elegance while still being, like, this brutal and capable fighter.
The power of elegant massacre.
Yeah, one thing that I found disappointing, and this is like one of the, probably my biggest problem with the first chapter as an adaptation, is that in the manga, like the first 2 chapters are completely from her perspective. So like, we see inside of her mind, she's the narrator, and in the manga, it's like the narrator, the perspective character is like this news guy, this reporter guy.
You mean the novel?
I mean in the manga, this news guy, this reporter, whatever his name is like the perspective character. He's the one who gives all the exposition and like reacts incredulously to the fact that one of the fighters was killed and all this stuff. But in the original novel, it's Boar. Boar is like thinking all this stuff. She's the one who remarks, they killed a city of 500,000 people for this. Oh. Yeah, there's a fighter who's already dead. Yeah, in this manga, they just have this stupid reporter guy who is only there to, like, react with, like, wild disbelief at, oh man, these people are crazy. This situation is crazy. I don't understand. The character's name is Navi. I don't understand.
Of course it's Navi.
Literally, the line when Duasipple is introducing him is like, he's going to be reporting on this tournament. Don't pay him any mind. Literally saying that he is a pointless, like, thing to be there.
Is he gonna start saying, hey, listen?
No. I don't know. I'm just saying that I don't understand why this character even needed to be in here. I mean, I guess it's like a minor complaint, but to me, it's so much more interesting the way the novel starts off. Like, you're in the perspective of one of the actual fighters' minds. Here, she's actually thinking over and observing as she's walking in about, like, everything that's happening. So, like, you feel more connected with the situation because you're, like, seeing it through the eyes of someone who is actually going to fight in this war. And then in this manga, you're having some weird guy who is, like, completely detached from the actual situation. He's not gonna, be fighting in it himself. He's just, like, observing. So, it feels a lot less personal. It feels a lot less, like you're there in the situation and you're feeling the same tension that, she is feeling, like, because you can get a sense, even though with her haughty behavior and, like, the fact that she's full of herself, that she also, like, is taking this seriously, and she's, like, very of, like, the more threatening fighters, like Sheep and like Bunny. But why do you care that Navi is, like, so freaked out about all this? The normal guy who's just there for some reason. I don't care. He's not gonna be the one who's dying, so...
Unless they accidentally stab him.
Maybe, I don't know. I just find it weird that they decided to add this character in who wasn't in the novel, but he doesn't have any role other than to take lines away from Inono Shishi in this first chapter. We were wrong to say that only Monkey and Boar have characterization. That's interesting because, of course, Sheep has that very interesting moment. He very deliberately mentions that he has explosives to make the other fighters aware of what he's capable of, as well as also, to do what his outward goal is to get the information about how you get the jewel out of people.
Right.
And of course, Bunny does get characterization, just like in terms of his appearance. The fact that he killed one of the fighters, or at least it presumably killed one of the fighters before the entire war even began, tells us a lot about him, that he's dangerous. And the fact that he raises his hand when Monkey's giving out the call for everyone to, like,
with the blood still on his blade.
With his blood still on his blade, and that's what makes Ox and Chicken and I forget who the other one who raised the hand is, but it makes their hands go down. So that's what was interesting. So yeah, I mean, the most interesting characters in this first chapter were Sheep, Bunny, Boar, and Monkey, because they're the ones who actually get, like, characterization that's interesting. And they try to set up Rat as interesting, but I'm like, okay, I see what the twist with this character is going to be, and I do not care. He has the least interesting design. He seems like the least interesting in terms of personality. One thing that's interesting with the setup of the characters, though, is that when they're going through the introduction of the characters, we have, like, these weird flash forwards to what I think are going to be other moments in the novel, or, like, in the manga.
I was wondering what those were.
Yeah, I think these are flash forwards to, like, later moments with them, and things that they're going to say. So you can tell some things about the plot with this moment, or at least, like, okay, so Tiger has this moment where she says, I don't need that anymore, just do me a favor. So we know that she's going to make a heroic sacrifice, or some sort of, like, sacrifice during the course of the series. Ox says, don't worry, I won't let you die, so he's going to be, like, fighting to protect someone later. Chicken says, we can do this, we're going to make it all the way to the end. So she's going to be, like, supportive, and again, she's going to be allied with someone. Then we see a scene of Monkey talking with Rat, and I don't know who's saying this, but for every great power, there's a correct way to use it. So there's going to be some, like, moment between Rat and Monkey. To me, one of the funniest bits in this is when they're getting to Horse, and, like, we don't have any monologue, any moment with Horse. Like, we just have a moment of silence, where he's just, like staring menacingly, and it's just, he's not saying anything. It's like silence. Literal ellipses and quotation marks. Because he's the one who kills in silence. I mean, that's another thing we kind of need to address, is that all of these characters kill in a certain way, apparently.
Yeah.
So, Ushi the Ox just kills. So, like, he kills without, like, any pretense. Tora the Tiger kills with drunken power. So she gets drunk and then she kills. Niwatora the Chicken kills with pecs. So, I guess with seduction. I don't know. Sharyu the Monkey kills in peace. So she doesn't want to kill people violently or with malice. Hitsudi the Sheep kills with deception. So he's deceptive. He's, like, one of the kind of characters who would, like, betray you or something. Goats, the Fighter of the Dog, kills and bites. You know, he literally, like, bites you to death. Then you got the Tatsumi brothers, fighters of Dragon and Snake, who kill for money, and one of them is dead. I forget which one, Dragon or Snake, was killed, presumably by Rabbit before, but I feel like it's all a ploy by the other brother to just get the other crystal just immediately.
Probably.
Especially since his flash forward is, my brother is certainly being put to good use, so. So yeah, Fighter of the Horse kills in silence. The Rat kills inexorably, whatever that means. Inexorably.
To Google.
In a way that is impossible to stop or prevent. Yeah, he's perfect. He's gonna be the Gary Stew. And then, Ino no Shishi, Fighter of the Boar, kills in abundance. So she is like mass murderer, and abundance also, reflects her wealth, regal kind of upbringing. So there we go.
Mm.
So, I mean, the way they kill also informs their characters, which is interesting for everyone except for Rat. I just am immediately predisposed to dislike Rat, because I feel like I know the tropes. I know where this is going. And, like, he seems like he's going to be the character that's going to survive to the end and win. He's going to be, like, the perfect guy who has all the answers, and I just do not care about the Gary Stu-like novel protagonist. Like, at least he's going to be teamed up with Monkey, who seems way more interesting. Just in terms of personality, she seems more fun.
Yeah, definitely.
But do you have any other observations? You're very silent for someone who's supposed to be very excited about this.
I don't know, I mean, like, it was a good first chapter, but, like, aside from just introducing the premise and, like, establishing the characters, like, there's not a lot of meat in here. Like, it pretty much ends with Bunny and
Boar.
Yeah, Bunny and Boar, like, about to, like, start, the first, like, fight of the war.
So for me, because the first two chapters of the novel were from Boar's perspective, when we get to the end here, I'm totally predicting that Bunny's gonna kill Boar. Because if you're starting off with the perspective of Boar, and you're gonna have the fight with the character who is clearly going to be, like, the biggest threat and adversary during this entire battle, like, I'm expecting she's not gonna survive this fight.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too surprising.
Yeah, it's a shame because she has one of the more interesting character designs, but we also already know her entire backstory, and it doesn't. I don't know how much potential for development there'd be from what kind of character she is.
So both of the first 2 chapters are from Bort's perspective, right?
Yeah, presumably the third might be too, but the third wasn't included in the preview. I'm certainly interested in buying the novel and reading it because I like the way it's written, at least translated, because it was interesting to read.
Yeah, I was planning to pick up the novel when it came out. Because, NisiOisiN's stuff's always pretty good.
I think that overall the artwork is just really strong. Action scenes, just intense lines that communicate, big moments of impact and moments of ominous dread. Really effective stuff.
Yeah, the art's fantastic. This is what I expect from Akatsuki based on what I've seen of his art previously.
Yeah, good imagery and good body language from characters. One scene to note is after they swallow the jewel and Duodecipal is telling them that they've swallowed poison. Their body language, their reactions to this inform a lot of their characters. So, he's very good at illustrating characters and communicating their personalities through how they are drawn and the body language they take. So I think that is very interesting and effective story.
Yeah, definitely.
And luckily they avoid cliche of too much unnecessary fan service. One odd moment of sexualization is when the boar swallows the crystal.
Yeah.
And then she makes an orgasm face. But one thing that I like about it is that she also immediately makes this embarrassed kind of face. That she's embarrassed that she did something so vulgar or made a vulgar face. So again, really good characterization and expressions that I really like here.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more up. Might have a written review up on this for all comic. Might try and review it chapter basis since, it'd be a good synergy thing to, review the manga and the anime maybe at the same time. I don't know. Also, I'm just interested in the multimedia of this idea just because it's so interesting to me that the manga, novel, and anime are all being released at the same time over here as part of a coordinated marketing effort.
Yeah.
And to me, that's pretty rare. And it's also interesting that this is a property that they're really expecting to hit big. And regardless of whether it does or not, I'm not really sure if it will because, you can obviously what they're trying to do with this in terms of capitalizing on Fate. But I fear it might be a little derivative of Fate, and of course Zodiac personifications is nothing new in anime and manga. We have Fruits Basket. We have plenty of that.
And using the Zodiacs as the words instead of just any
Hunter
hero.
Hunter, there we go.
Yeah, Hunter. I forgot about Hunter using the Zodiacs. But yeah, even just comparing the Zodiacs and just heroes from Fates. Heroes from Fates can be, literally anything, past, present, or future.
Yeah.
Here, you're just kind of limited to,
You're limited to the same 12 animals.
Yeah.
And even if you, come up with different designs and, concepts for them whenever you redo this premise, it's still the same personification of the same animals. Whereas with the Fate servants, they're different historical characters each time.
Yeah.
Even though all the sabers look the same for some reason, even if they're not related.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious how the novel was received in Japan, because, it came out 4 years ago there, so.
Presumably then the novel was popular because it's getting this anime and this manga coming out at the same time.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
And the fact that, again, the coordinated marketing effort suggests to me that they're expecting this to hit big.
They gotta push that NisiOisiN goodness.
But it is only one novel so far, so it's not there are more to make right now.
Well, yeah, it's only meant to be a one novel, so.
Then I'm wondering how they're supposed to make sequence seasons of this.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about too. So I'm thinking the first season is just going to adapt the novel.
Yeah.
And then in subsequent seasons, they're just going to do their own thing.
I guess. But then how do you make the same Battle Royale concept interesting is what I'm wondering. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see if the series actually gets popular enough to make those other seasons. I mean, I think certainly it seems like it's going to be a fun time. The character designs are great. The characterizations are simple, but they're fun. It's just this wanton disregard and this embrace of violence is just, something that people like. It's fun for people. Like, people like the idea of, like, battle royales where people are killing each other all the time. Like, even if they like it for the wrong reasons, or they think, like, gratuitous death and violence is awesome for the wrong reasons.
That's why people like shit like Hunger Games.
Yeah, but it sells. People find that concept fascinating, so people probably will gravitate towards this. I would expect it would be one of the more popular shows of the season. Especially since, it'll be on Crunchyroll, so it won't be buried by Sentai.
I mean, all the big shows are on Crunchyroll, so, yeah.
But I don't know if it'll be like the kind of hit Fate was, is what I'm saying.
It's kind of hard to reach the caliber of Fate at this point.
And would you really want it to be a franchise like Fate? A franchise where there's literally only one good show in it. And it's not even the original. It's like the spin-off prequel written by some other guy.
Wait, are you talking about Fate Zero?
Yeah, I'm talking about Fate Zero. It's like
Heavens feels good, Sid. You'll see. You'll see.
I mean, I'll take that back. I'll take that back because Carnival Phantasm is also fun.
And the other Nasuverse stuff are good. I mean,
yeah, but it's not Fate, so it's not.
Yeah, but it's all Type Beam Nasuverse. They cross over a bunch.
It's still not Fate. The idea of Fate.
Shiki shows up in Fate Grand Order, so I counters Fate franchise character.
Well, based on this first chapter alone, I will say that this is way more interesting than Fate Apocrypha. So if I were to suggest
you watch one episode.
Yeah, and this first chapter is way more interesting than that one episode. That one episode is boring. I think that if you were to choose between Zodiac War and Fate Apocrypha, Zodiac War is probably going to be the better show. Just based on what I've read of the novel and the manga. So, but I guess that's all we have to say about this manga right now. I really did find it interesting and surprising read in terms of like how much I found it entertaining. I definitely think the novel seems more interesting in the way it's written, but I would recommend this multimedia franchise because it's interesting to have both the manga and anime starting up and serialized at the same time, as well as the original novel come out over here at the same time as well. It's like very interesting to me that they're putting in the effort to make sure this all happens at the same time to make sure that this franchise gets big over here. Do you have any final thoughts about this?
I mean, I pretty much was just going to say what you said. Like, great first chapter, and it's like interesting to see that they're doing all this stuff at once to really push this hard in the US and even in Japan.
Yep.
So yeah, go read this on Viz's website. Go buy the novel. Check out the anime and Crunchyroll.
Yep, maybe we'll have a follow-up where we review the series as a whole at a later date.
Yeah, maybe.